The transmission was faint, so faint it barely registered on the deep space array stationed beyond Neptune's orbit. It wasn't intended for Earth. It wasn't intended for anyone beyond its dying star. But humans heard it. Commander Leora Hayes of the TSS Vigilant stared at the decoded fragment projected before her, a desperate plea in a language no one had ever catalogued. A distress call, carrying coordinates in a sector long marked uninhabitable by the Galactic Council.
"Origin?"
she asked.
"System CX-4117, Red Dwarf Sector,"
the AI replied.
"Estimated travel, 3 weeks by slipstream."
Leora frowned. That sector was supposed to be dead space, radiation storms, collapsed trade routes, no habitable planets. And yet, the voice in the transmission was trembling, terrified, pleading. The Galactic Council had taught humans caution. Do not intervene in distant conflicts. Do not interfere in quarantine zones. But humanity had never listened well. The Vigilant launched that same night. 3 weeks later, the Terran ship emerged from slip space and found hell. The system was littered with wreckage, burned-out orbital stations, shattered moons, fragments of ships drifting like bones in a black ocean. Then they saw the source, the Kryn Dominion, a slaver fleet notorious even among the Council's most corrupt circles. Their spiked warships orbited a scarred planet, beams lancing down to its surface, dragging captives into their holds. The distress signal hadn't been meant for outsiders. It was a whisper between prisoners, a dying hope. But humans had heard. Commander Hayes clenched her jaw.
"Open a channel."
The Kryn warlord appeared on screen, his skin plated in obsidian chitin, his eyes like dull iron.
"This is Dominion territory,"
he rasped.
"Withdraw, Terran, or join them in chains."
Hayes didn't blink.
"Funny thing about chains,"
she said.
"We break them."
Then she cut the channel.
"Arm all batteries,"
she ordered.
"Send a reply to the surface. We heard you."
The battle was swift and brutal. Terran rail slugs tore through the Kryn formation before they could reposition. Stealth drones infiltrated their command vessels, scrambling their controls. Boarding pods slammed into their hulls, releasing shock troops clad in adaptive exosuits. The Kryn were seasoned slavers, but they fought prey, never predators. Within an hour, half their fleet was drifting wreckage. Within 3, the survivors fled into the dark. On the planet below, the last of the enslaved huddled in the ruins of their cities, thin, starved, their eyes wide as the Terran shuttles descended. Leora stepped onto the ash-covered ground, her helmet retracting.
"We heard your message,"
she said softly.
"You're safe now."
An elder of the species stepped forward, trembling.
It was never meant for you,"
he whispered.
"We sent it into the void so that someone, anyone, might know we lived before we died."
Hayes knelt to meet his gaze.
"And we came. That's what matters."
Weeks passed. Terran engineers rebuilt their water systems, medics treated the survivors, and warships patrolled the system to keep the Kryn away. The Galactic Council sent a formal reprimand.
"Unauthorized intervention in a restricted sector. Cease operations or face sanctions."
Hayes forwarded it to Earth Command. The reply from Earth was 3 words.
"Keep saving them."
When the rescued species, the Illyrians, finally spoke before the Council, their message was clear.
"We called into the dark, and no one answered. No one except the humans."
The chamber fell silent. Months later, the Kryn returned with reinforcements. This time, humanity didn't wait. They intercepted the fleet at the edge of the sector, annihilated it, and left a warning beacon in its place. Distress calls may not be meant for us, but we hear them, and we answer. On the bridge of the Vigilant, Hayes watched the stars streak past as they left the sector behind.
"They never even wanted us to hear it,"
her second-in-command mused.
No,
Ace said.
but that's the thing about humans. We hear the quietest cries, even when they're not ours.
She looked back at the rescued Illyrians, sleeping safely in their quarters.
And once we hear them, we act.
The galaxy would remember that transmission, not because of who sent it, but because of who answered. And somewhere, in the deep dark, another whisper began to rise. Because now everyone knew. If humans heard your cry, you were no longer alone.